Renaissance is a way that we recognize academic excellence at Kings Mountain High School. As you can see, Renaissance cards are awarded based upon your GPA. The good news is it is not based on your cumulative GPA, only on the grades from your previous semester. So if you had a bad semester and didn't do well, that's okay, because the next semester you can strive to do better and earn a Renaissance card. And those cards are linked to various rewards and incentives that you will want to take advantage of. Anytime that you are late to school or you need to leave school, you must sign in or out at the main office. If you know you're going to sign out early, for example, for a doctor's appointment, make sure you bring a note from a parent, turn it into the office before school begins, and they will give you a note to show to your teacher when it's time for you to leave school. And remember, once you're on our school campus, you've walked to school or you've driven your car to school, and then you need to go back home and get something, even if you've only been on our campus for a couple of minutes, you need to make sure you go through the front office and sign out before leaving our campus. Failure to follow these procedures will result in 2 days out of school suspense on the first offense and 3 days on the second. These are examples of clothing that do not meet dress code. For example, the holes in the jeans that are above the fingertips, the exposed shoulders, something that's too low, also wearing pajama pants or bedroom shoes, or any type of hats or head coverings or hoods. If you are in violation of our dress code, on the first offense, you would report to the alternative room and correct the problem. On the second offense, you would also report to the alternative room, correct the problem, and then you would be assigned a detention. The third offense would result in ISS and more detention. Any offenses after that will result in ISS. And we would call your parent to bring clothing that would meet dress code policy. You can fail classes here for missing too many days despite your grade. So make sure that you are not absent from school unless it is something that is excused. And you need to turn a note in to the front office within 3 days of your absence. Preferably that's a doctor's note or a dentist's note, but it also can be a parent note if it's for an excused absence. And you can also have absences due to tardies. So if you have more than 3 tardies, that will equal one unexcused absence. Again, make sure you do not miss more than 6 days in the entire semester, because that puts you at risk for failing the class. We count tardies not only to school, but also to each class period within the school day. So you can see the consequences for tardies at Kings Mountain High School that could result in after-school detentions or even suspensions. So make sure you are on time. This slide is pretty self-explanatory. No door dashing or Uber Eats. Breakfast and lunch this year are free for all students. If you choose to eat breakfast, pick it up and head to first period. Lunch for right now, you'll be eating with your third period class. Hopefully, as the year goes on, we'll be able to do something a little different. Make sure you don't have any form of medication on you at school. That would include things like aspirin or ibuprofen. The nurse has all of those items, so make sure your nurse form has been completed and turned in. If you did that in 9th grade, you should be in good shape because it lasts all 4 years. If you do have a situation arise that you need medication, make sure you follow the appropriate steps as outlined on the slide in securing the forms and having the medicine brought to school by a parent or guardian so that they can secure that in the front office. Every year we have someone who gets their cell phone stolen or something else stolen, and the reason behind that always is they did not have their personal items locked up and secured. So make sure that your items are locked in your locker. You do not give your combination to anyone else, and you do not allow other people to put their things in your locker because you don't want to be responsible for what they may be putting in your locker. In PE, there are also lockers that your valuables can be locked up while you are in PE. This year we are allowing students who want to use clear book bags to carry those from class to class. If you do not want to use the clear book bag, you still have the option of putting your regular book bag in your locker at the beginning of the school day and getting it at the end of the school day. If you are headed to PE and you have PE clothes, you are allowed to use a string bag for those PE items. And just make sure at the end of the day, it may be more convenient for you to get your book bag out of your locker prior to the end of the day. However, that is not allowed. You must keep your book bag, unless it's the clear book bag, in your locker until the end of the school day. So our normal time for opening the doors is 7:42. However, if you are eating breakfast or need to go to the media center, you're welcome to enter the school at 7:35. You must leave the school building by 3:20 and school premises by 3:30 unless you're in a supervised activity. And remember, the front is only used for our buses, drop off and pick up, no cars. If you are in an area you're not supposed to be, that could result in suspension for you. You and your classmates are here to receive a quality education, and we will not allow anyone to interfere with that. Continual class disruptions will not be tolerated. Those students that are causing a disruption will be sent to our alternative room. That will result in a parent contact, and if there are multiple referrals, that will result in suspensions and possibly even a referral to Turning Point Academy. Hang in there, guys. 7 more slides to go and we'll be finished. So at Kings Mountain High School, we do not tolerate fights. That includes not only being involved in a fight, also instigating a fight, hyping up a fight, or even a near fight that is a disruption to our school day. That will result in some possibly charges as well as suspensions. Of course, the use of tobacco products or vaping is strictly prohibited on our campus. There are different rules regarding using those items and possession of those items, so make sure you do understand the consequences of those. There are very serious consequences for use under the influence of, possession, distribution of drugs or alcohol on our campus. That includes medication as well. And I specifically wanted to point out the last bullet, marijuana is an illegal drug. If you come to school smelling of marijuana, you will be put in ISS and possibly suspended from school. It goes without saying that weapons of any form are not allowed on our campus. There are very serious consequences for having a weapon. If you are going to or from the BIP building, make sure you have someone to cross you. If there is no one at the road, walk back to the building you came from and ask for assistance. Everything you do on your school computer is being monitored by Gaggle. Be very cautious and aware that any information that you write or share or look up could get you in trouble and you would have appropriate discipline. So just keep that in mind. And last but not least, our cell phone policy has changed slightly this year. You still may not use your cell phone between the hours of 7:55 and 3:05 except during lunch. So that means your cell phone needs to be away and secured and not out so that someone doesn't accuse you of using your cell phone. There is appropriate discipline if you are in possession of your cell phone and definitely using your cell phone during the school day, again, other than lunch. The one difference is if your cell phone is confiscated or you have to turn it in, you would be allowed to pick it up at the end of the school day this time. Thank you all for being so patient during this presentation, and we just want all of you to have a wonderful school year. Go Mounties!